Back again. I know I just left, but I'm back again. And this time I've got my co-host with me, Terrence Smith.
What's up, y'all?
Man, we back in the building, better than ever, up in this bitch. And we got to talk about Monday Night Raw recap. That's what Terrence is here for. We're gonna recap Raw, Paul Heyman, and all of that. But first, there's breaking news in the NBA. Before we get to Raw, we got to talk about this. Terrence, the Denver Nuggets have just fired. Oh, I'm sorry. How you doing? Hope all is well.
I'm better than Mike Malone today.
Man, what the hell? The Nuggets have just fired their head coach, Mike Malone, in his 10th season. I didn't know he'd been there that long. 10
Yeah,
seasons. He's the winningest coach in franchise history for the Denver Nuggets. Just led that team to a 2023 NBA title. And now he's fired. And the general manager is also released as well. What are the Denver Nuggets doing right now, Terrence?
I know this is PG-13 or PG,
Man,
but
go ahead and say
brothers,
what you want to
I
say.
don't I don't fucking know.
Huh,
I,
for real.
I don't understand what these teams are doing. Now, if this was midway through the season, Jarvis, I could understand. If they were fighting for a play-in spot, I could understand. But I know you say they lost four in a row. Two of those games are very winnable. One, Russell Westbrook literally said, "Hey man, I don't want to win this game."
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if that's the issue. Maybe if they try to, I'm just trying to create some scenarios that make sense. Maybe if they told Westbrook, "Hey," if they told Mike Malone, "Hey, you got to cut Westbrook," he wouldn't do it. They told the GM, "Hey, you got to cut Westbrook," he wouldn't do it. Now you're both gone. Like if we see movement with Westbrook sometime today or tomorrow, we'll know what happened. But I don't know if that's the case. I don't know what is going on. This has been the weirdest damn season I've ever seen. Like it's almost these two coach firings, Memphis and now Denver, are almost more weird than Dallas trading away Luca.
Isn't that something? That's crazy.
Like
That's
you
crazy.
tell me that Luca gets traded at 25 years old to the Lakers in the same conference. They didn't trade him to the East. They traded him to the same conference.
Yeah.
And that is not even the weirdest thing that happened this year. The two playoff teams, both of these teams, even if they are in the play in, which I don't think Denver will be, Memphis will be. Um, are, I actually think Denver would have won the championship. Like the next time whenever we did finals predictions, I was gonna say Denver.
Hmm.
Like I think Jokic is that good to where he was gonna carry them to a championship. This has been his best season, and this is somebody that's won 3 MVP. Should be four. This should be five. Or could be. I say could because Embiid did deserve at least one in there somewhere.
But
Uh,
he is playing like MVP right now, though. No doubt
he,
about it.
he is the MVP. Now they can give it to Shea. This is going to be the same situation with Lamar and what's that boy named Josh Allen from the NFL.
Yeah.
Jokic has been the most valuable player this season, undoubtedly. He
Yeah.
has been the best player, the most valuable player, most important player, the most excuse me, the most whatever player. You can't tell me somebody else that's finished top three in every major statistical offensive category and not win every top three, not top 10, not top five, top three.
Yeah.
10 years ago, people were clamoring because LeBron was top 10 in assists, top 10 in points, top 10 in rebounds. This man is top 10 and top three in everything, even steals for a center. So this has been Jokic's best season. So I was going to ride with Denver to win the championship the next time we talked about it. It was already in my head. Nobody else is picking them. Everybody, either the Lakers or, excuse me, OKC or maybe even some Golden State sprinkled in there, some Boston's. You don't hear anybody talking about Denver. They're flying under the radar. So this firing is really a shock to me personally because I had them secretly picked to win the championship, and it's just I don't understand it. I can almost understand it with Memphis a little bit. Like I really believe that Ja didn't care for what they were doing. I don't think he had an issue with Taylor Jenkins personally. I think he didn't care what they were doing. And
Mhm.
so many of these teams now are going to side with the player, even though the players are up and leaving. Um, so I don't know what happened with Mike Malone because I always felt like they were really close over there. I'm sure details will come out. Maybe there's no need in speculating.
Yeah,
But you know what we do, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
right. Um, Damn, I don't know where to start. T. It's crazy that this has happened. But again, at least my Grizzlies don't look like the craziest team in the league anymore. After just
Right,
firing Taylor
right, yeah, for
Jenkins
sure.
a little over a week ago, and now here it is with Michael Malone. But this is worse, or it sounds more deranged or unhinged because Taylor Jenkins ain't won anything as far as
Correct,
championships.
correct. I
Michael
agree.
Malone is a champion
Just just 2 years ago.
just 2 seasons ago. Yeah. And they've also let the general manager go as well. Now that one I can actually understand a little more than I can Mike Malone, the head coach.
I
And
agree.
I'm
I agree.
about to explain why. The Nuggets fired the general manager Calvin Booth along with head coach Michael Malone, according to Shams at ESPN. Now, I'm gonna tell you why the general manager got fired though. Before I get into Michael Malone, real quick, I think the general manager, it was probably time because look, Terrence, I'm the one who told you guys that I think the Nuggets could be the new Spurs. The Spurs of
Yep.
the old. I thought that they would probably win a championship every other year. Well, this is that other year, and you said that you actually would have predicted them to win. I
Yep.
don't see that this year, and this is the reason why I don't see it though. General manager kind of dropping the ball with the depth that the Nuggets once had in 2023. A lot of the reason why they won the NBA championship versus right now. They don't have a lot of depth, and he's not doing a good job in bringing back or signing key players that could help them out. Quickly, in 2025, this is the roster that the Denver Nuggets have. 2025, 2025. Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, right now, they have Russell Westbrook, Peyton Watson, Hunter Tyson, Julian Strother, Dario Saric, Michael Porter Jr., Jalen Pickett, Zeke Naji, Jamal Murray, DeAndre Jordan, Spencer Jones, Nikola Jokic, PJ Hall, Deron Holmes the second, Aaron Gordon, Christian Braun, Trey Alexander. Half those names you only heard, let's be honest, you heard Nikola Jokic, you heard Jamal Murray, and you heard Michael Porter Jr. Those are the only key guys there. Christian Braun, yeah, he can play some defense. He can knock the three down sometimes, but not consistently.
Yeah.
And you got Eric Gordon playing at the four, still taking away some offense when he's on the floor. I don't
Yeah.
hear the names that I used to hear when I was like, these guys are going to be a problem. And those names at one point were Kentavious Caldwell Pope, KCP.
Yep.
He's no longer there. Bruce Brown, he's no longer there. Remember Jeff Green? He was
Yeah.
also there. Like they had a little something else coming off that bench at the time, and they don't have those guys anymore. The Bruce Browns and the Jeff Greens and the KCPs. Also, a guy named Bones Highland who averaged 12. Also, Reggie Jackson was also there, averaging 8.
Yeah.
Bruce
Yeah.
Brown was averaging 12. Those numbers help. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it was everything the Nuggets needed when Jokic is playing in his prime. Jamal Murray was playing much better basketball then than he is now,
Mhm.
and he finally stayed healthy. That's why they won. But Murray hadn't
Yeah.
been able to really do that. They haven't really replaced those guys that I just mentioned from that depth that they had in 2023. So that's my issue, and I think that's what they saw, and I can see why they cut the general manager loose. Why do it now? I ain't saying that makes sense at all. I don't think
Right.
it really does. But maybe the league is now going to a certain trend where they say, you know what? Let's already let some of these head coaches in the playoffs. Let's let them know right now that if all else fails, we're looking for a head coach if they end up, needing a job. I don't know. I'm still not saying it makes sense. But
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's one of those things where they don't want the coach or the GM to succeed, so they don't have to keep them for next year and beyond. They don't have to get tied up in another contract. Um, it very much seems like, you know how a job will let you work to the end of the day, then fire you.
Yeah.
They let these guys go all the way to the regular season is almost over. Like next week, I think the regular season ends, and then they fired them. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Like,
It was time to pay the general manager too, Calvin Booth. The team will not
see
extend
what I'm
his
saying? See what
contract.
I'm
They
saying?
didn't want to. They
Yeah.
didn't want to go any further with him.
So, and my thing is, if his contract is over, see, this is why this really doesn't make sense. If his contract is going to end at the end of the season, why not let him finish the season and then you just don't renew? But you don't want him to renew. I mean, you don't want to finish the season because if he wins and he doesn't renew, now you look like the bad guy. So it's almost like they were waiting on a particular moment where they could say, "All right, excuse me, here's the moment. We lost four in a row. We can get rid of these guys now. We ain't got to pay them through next year." But
Yeah.
if I am a fan of Denver, if I am in Denver, or if I am in Dallas, or if I am in Memphis, Memphis is not the worst case in the world because they've interchanged coaches the past, I guess, 10 years or so. Lionel Hollins, Taylor Jenkins, I forgot the other, Jaeger that ended up going to Sacramento, and
Yeah.
they've all succeeded. So Memphis, not so much. But there's a clear contrast in the Denver Nuggets before and after Mike Malone was there. There's a clear contrast in Dallas before and after, before, during, and after Luca.
Yeah.
If I am fans of some of these teams, I protest. I'm not going to pay, especially at playoff time. And you think I'm going to spend money to fill up your stadium, but you're going to fire the head coach right before the end of the season. Like that next home game would be empty. They damn near have to black it out.
That is a great way to make a point, Terrence. It is.
As a fan, you have to because no matter what the situation is, the money controls everything. I am not going to watch your product. I'm not going to be a part of your product if you can't respect the fan base enough to say we are not going to remove the coach before the playoffs. Now, if you are the doggone not Sacramento, because they fired their coach too, and they were good. Like they fired the coach, trade the best player. I forgot about that shit. Damn. I always use Sacramento as a team that's not going to win anything, but I got to switch somebody else. If you are the Charlotte Hornets head coach, you can go. Nobody's gonna miss that.
Right.
If you are the Washington Wizards head coach, you can go. Some of these lower teams that have no shot at making the playoffs. Now I'm glad Detroit didn't do that because they made a run and they made a historical run. The
Sure
Clippers have made a
did.
historical run. Teams can turn it around.
Yeah.
So it just does not make sense that teams that are near the playoffs, in the playoff spot is secure. They're not going to fall out of the play in. Will let go of their head coach right before the end of the season. Something ain't right with it, Jarvis. I don't know what it is, but something ain't right with it.
I don't either. But here's the word from the Nuggets team president and governor, Josh Kroenke. Josh Kroenke says this decision was not made lightly. We do it only with the intention of giving our group the best chance at competing for the 2025 NBA championship. That's what the Nuggets team president just said. The decision was not made lightly. We do it with the intention of giving our group the best chance at competing for the 2025 NBA championship. Okay, I guess firing your
I mean,
general
but
manager
how do
and head
you?
coach right now,
Yeah, how do you have a better chance without the guy who just won one 2 years ago? He knows what it takes to win one.
just won one 2 years ago. That one's very
And
puzzling.
look, if not for Anthony Davis making a crazy 3-pointer, I think that was on one of those. Who did he make this shot on? But you remember that, like in the bubble, Anthony Davis made a crazy 3-pointer To I
That
think he
was
tied the series up
Western
against
Conference
Denver.
Finals.
That
Western
was a
Conference
conference finals.
Finals.
Yeah, that was a conference finals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like Denver could have won that year. Anthony, kudos to Anthony Davis, who just absolutely dominated those guys that series.
yeah.
um, so like Denver has been really, if you really look at it, the past 3 years, they've probably been the best team, hands down. Just through and through. Credit to Boston. I don't want to discredit what they did last year, but I mean Denver has been very consistent.
I think that the general manager, they didn't have to let go of either right now, but I think they're onto something with firing the general manager. I don't necessarily agree about the head coach. Sometimes though, they make teams think that it's time for a change. It's time to
Yeah,
shift. Let's
and
go in
that's
another
fair.
direction with the way we call plays or the way we run our offense. The only thing that's mind blowing about it is that Jokic is in the prime of his career. He ain't getting any younger. He'll be going toward the
Right.
back end of that prime, I think, a lot faster than we see, a lot sooner than we see this continue for another 7, 8 years. Probably not,
I don't even think
especially at
Jokic will
his
play that
pace.
long.
Say it again, T.
I don't even think Jokic will play that long.
At the way he's playing right now, Terrence, I mean, he's a walking triple double. We understand
Oh
it.
God, yeah.
And he is playing phenomenal. But how much gas do you think he's gonna have before he burns all the way out on E? Because damn, how much more can you have in the tank if you do this on a consistent basis, night in and night out? 30, 20, 10, 40, 20, 20, 60, 20, 10. What the fuck? This is like stuff that you can only do on 2K, and he's doing it in real life. But the fact that he has to do it, and it doesn't even always give them wins. He just scored 62 not
And
long
they
ago, and he
lost. And
lost.
they lost. And a
Yeah.
60 with a triple double, and they lost.
I think that got a lot of people in the front office frustrated.
I think that's what started. That's what got the wheels in motion.
I mean, like, how can he do all of this and we still can't win? A lot of it, I think, more is on the general manager. Give Mike Malone more groceries. If you're going to do the shopping, give
Yeah.
him better
Well,
groceries to cook for
here's
people.
here's my question too, though. Here's my question too.
Okay.
All right. When players do well, more teams are going to try to take your players away on purpose, just because they know that this player is a glue guy. Bruce Brown, Caldwell Pope is a glue guy. Let's take him away. Some of the lower teams will have more money to spend, and. But my question is, how much, how reluctant were the owners to go over the salary cap to keep some of these guys?
It's a good
Like
question.
I don't know the answer to the question, and I don't know if you do either. But like, it's easy to sit back and blame the GM, but I believe if the GM has that money available to say, Bruce Brown, here's you 15 million a year, Caldwell Pope, here's you 17 million a year. We want you guys to stay. Like I don't think he's reluctantly giving that contract. I think he gives it happily. Now I don't know that for sure, but some of these owners want you to, or governors, I'm sorry, they want you to make cornbread, but they ain't giving you the meal. You got to give me the meal. So, God dang, I'm so fat. I make cornbread analogies for basketball. But my point
Make a good
is,
point, though. I
you got to
get
be
there
able to
now.
spend the dough. Oh yeah, hey, we from Mississippi, man. We we know what's up.
Right, right.
But you got to be able to spend the dough,
Yeah.
and some of these guys don't want you to. It's just like Memphis. Now you can fire the coach all you want to, but at some point you can't walk around with three max contracts and have a good solid team.
Yeah. That's right.
Now they have the benefit right now is they have a lot of young guys that can step up and play good basketball. But sometime, either next year or the year after, they got to choose between Ja and Bain, Ja and JJ, Bain and JJ, Bain and Ja. At some point, it's going to be two of those guys with max contracts and not three.
Depending on who Taylor Jenkins' replacement will be in Memphis, that decision may come sooner than later because it's all about familiarity, it's all about connections,
Yeah,
chemistry. Can the next head coach see John coachable? Some people think some players are coachable, some think they're not. That could also play a factor with what the Grizzlies are going to do. But the Denver Nuggets have just fired Michael Malone and their general manager. all in one day at the same damn time. And what's crazy about it is that the Denver Nuggets, even though they're 3-7 in their last 10 games, and they have lost 4 straight games, Denver Nuggets are still 47-32, fourth in the West. They're just 1.5 games back from that third seed that the Lakers hold, and they're going to have to go into the postseason. Are they saying we're throwing in the towel for the 2025 season? I mean, I read to you what he just said, the team president. But like you said, how can you really be competing for a championship this year after just doing that? Are they throwing in
You
the
know,
towel?
same answers
Or
I
do
started with.
or do they think I'm sorry, do they think that they actually may have an interim head coach? And I'll give you that guy's name in a minute here. Do you think that they actually have, because I heard Ja Morant said that, hey man, he taking me out the offense. I need to be more in the offense. The ball needs to be in my hand more. Other sources are saying that's not what happened. I don't know. But I'm watching Ja do more with the ball again. It looks like that could have been what it was. Right here, do they think that they have somebody else on the bench waiting to do a better job than what he did? Can somebody else take over that? Do they see that? Was somebody saying, hey, man, look, tap him on the shoulder? That's the guy who's next in line. He's got it. He's learned everything from Mike Malone. We don't need his serve. Or are they just throwing in the towel? I don't know. Which
Right.
one is
Well,
this?
Travis, let me ask you this because it's two. I want to give two different answers.
Okay.
One, first, let me take care of the Memphis part first with Ja.
Okay.
Um, Now you've gone to exponentially more Grizzlies game this year than I have, right?
Right.
Is it just me, or has the Memphis offense evolved beyond Ja dribbling the hell out of the ball? Because that offense, when Scottie Pippen Jr. is at point, who can absolutely ball, by the way. Like people talk about Bronny and and being the son or whatever. Scottie Pippen Jr. does not get talked about enough.
Nope.
I'll go ahead and vote him now for most improved player.
Okay.
You know, but Scottie Pippen Jr. can ball, and that offense looks good when he's running it. To me, everybody else gets easier shots,
You're
in
not
my
wrong.
opinion.
You're
In my
not wrong.
opinion, and I think Taylor Jenkins wanted to go that direction, where everybody gets easier shots, everybody gets involved. Ja can't play the two. Ja's got to have the ball in his hands. I understand Ja saying that or feeling that way, even if he didn't say it. And I hope that's not what led Taylor Jenkins to being fired. To me, that's a discussion. That's a discussion between two men that they should have just had, and maybe they did. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it didn't go the way Taylor Jenkins wanted it, or didn't go the way Ja wanted it. But I don't really like the notion that a player can disagree with the way a team is coached, and then the coach is gone. Because that's what it seems like, and that's what I know. The media is going to make it seem that way, even if it's not. But I also think that the Memphis media, I don't think I know. The Memphis media walks on eggshells a lot when it comes to the Grizzlies, when it comes to the star players, because a lot of them are scared to piss Ja off. So I guarantee you it's a situation where they have this information that Ja may have said this or Ja may have felt this way, but they're not going to come out with it fully because nobody wants to be the one to piss Ja off. Nobody wants Ja to do them what LeBron just did to Stephen A. You know, that's my answer to that. Now, as far as Denver, um, I don't know if they've given up or not, but it seems like they said they didn't give a damn if they won or not. Like it, I don't think it's necessarily giving up. I think it's giving up when you like take your best player and sit him down. But I do think it's a situation where you are almost rooting for the L. You're almost rooting to not win the championship so that you can do whatever this grand scheme was that you wanted to do. Um, and that's why I say the fans should consider protesting because that's not right. We've invested a whole season tickets. You're a season ticket holder, you know. Just imagine if you wake up one morning and like the Grizzlies have traded Ja to Houston or to Golden State, you know,
It very well could happen.
and yeah, I mean, In this league, anything can happen. Uh, but just imagine having to explain that to season ticket holders or to kids who want to come to the games to see their favorite player, and now he's gone. You
Yeah.
know, people that want to see the coach, he's gone. Midway through the season or at the very end of the season, I don't know if Denver is giving up, but I do think that it's a situation where they want to lose, but they're not going to. Major League. You remember Major League, the baseball movies,
Yeah.
where the
Yeah.
owner was trying to lose, but didn't make it look like she was trying to lose.
Yeah.
Same situation, which is
Kind of
just weird to
exactly the
see in
same.
real life.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is real life. The winningest head coach in franchise history for the Denver Nuggets is terminated with 5 games left in the regular season. Want to give a shout out to 097. He's back with us in the building. He said, "No coach is safe in the NBA." Man, what you said, brother, is exactly.
Understatement.
He also asked us, "Do y'all think teams ask the players' opinion on firing coaches before playoff starts?" That's a good question, and I think I
Seems like they do.
add that. Yeah, I mean, look. So a few weeks ago, and we're gonna wrap this up because we got Raw recap, and we got to get you out of here, T. But somebody, um, how was it? How did it go? The John Morant situation. Okay, there were rumors that he could possibly get traded after this season if the Grizzlies have an early exit in the playoffs. Okay, and I was like, damn, would they really do that? Okay. Uh, okay, I guess, but doesn't sound like Memphis would want to do it. What would they be offering? I just can't see this happening. General manager came out, shut it down 2 days later, and said, I can see why certain teams or general managers may fantasize that shit, but we're not trading John Morant. We're going to focus on the playoffs. We're going to continue to go under the radar and try to have a good postseason. Um, and that's what they say, all the right things that a Grizzly fan would want to hear, including myself. So that told me then, okay, they're not trying to trade Ja. They would do anything Ja says to keep him there and to not, you know, demand these trades because he starts to hear these rumors. Hey, the Phoenix
Yeah.
Suns want you to join Kevin Durant. Oh, that sounds interesting. Or the Dallas Mavericks want you to come join AD and Kyrie, whoever it may be, or we want you to be a Knick because the Knicks, it's been said for a few years now that they're looking for the big fish. And what they did with Cat, that's just to still land that big fish like Giannis Antetokounmpo, even though you didn't hear that here. But that's what people are thinking the Knicks are going to do. Him or Zion Williamson. They're trying to land that big one, that big fish. If Ja gets pissed off, like you just said, with the media or anything, he may ask for that. So that means the Grizzlies are going to do what he says. And that's why it's easy to believe that he said something about Taylor Jenkins' offense and he wanted to get his hands on the ball more. But I agree with you, T. The offense it moved in a rhythm much better. Again, look, you hate to take the ball out of superstars' hands because
Absolutely.
you want to see Ja get 30 plus and 40 and he wasn't comfortable with that 21, 22 that he was averaging. Right at 20, really, because he missed a lot of games too. I think Taylor Jenkins was doing a good job though in managing his minutes and his load and trying to keep him healthy. And it's worked. He's actually made it through the season without anything major, just lingering things where he's missed some games. But yeah, the Grizzlies took a step back after the All-Star break. The Nuggets have started to do the same, but there's no reason to fire the coaches. I think maybe they need to be looking upstairs a little bit higher before they go so low to the coach. General
Did they make
manager's
any
fired in
trades? Did
Denver.
they make any trades during the trade deadline?
Yeah, they traded Marcus Smart, which was a mistake. They this is when the slide began to happen. I forgot where they traded him to. The Wizards. And he just had an incident too, a confrontation with somebody. He had an altercation with a fan in his return to Boston the other night. But yeah, he's no longer a Grizzly. They traded.
Well, I mean, Denver. Did Denver make any trades during the
Oh, Denver? No, they did
you
not.
know,
I don't. I can't recall anyone that they. I just gave you the roster too. I don't see anything, mentionable like as far as who is, like okay, well they traded for him. That's I didn't see them do anything or make any additions that would make them, worthy of a
Right.
championship contender or give you a playoff push. So as much as I like the Denver Nuggets, Terrence, even I wouldn't have predicted them to make it to the finals. And I know you said you would have, but I didn't see it because I'm like, man, Jokic ain't got enough help. When I watched him, I get frustrated. I'm like, this dude is good. He gets even better. I didn't think it was possible.
Mm,
And they still can't win when he scores 62 points and gets 20 rebounds and 20 assists. What the fuck? How do you even do that?
that's crazy. That's real
So
crazy.
I think that frustrated a lot of people, ruffled a lot of feathers. And I think they're looking at the general manager saying, hey, man, we ain't got them Bruce Browns anymore. Why don't you sign that in free agency? We don't have any Jeff Greens, any KCPs. These are the people that helped the Nuggets win that chip in 2023. And now it's Jokic having to play way more minutes than he needs to. He would be gassed out anyway by the second round of the
Yeah.
playoffs. If he gets out of the first round, I tip my hat to him
Right.
because it's not going to be easy. It's him and kind of everybody else. Jamal Murray is not the same Jamal Murray from when I see it. He has his moments, and I'm not getting a lot of offense from Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon and
Aaron
those
John.
guys.
Yeah.
Bryce Braun. These guys are not. They're not hitting it. I'm sorry. They're just not getting it there for them. They can't compete with these teams right now in the West. And the Nuggets have already made the move. I don't think it's the coach though. All right. We're gonna get into this raw recap. Zero also said that coaches also get the blame before GMs and players. Yeah, that's the sad part about the NBA, and this is what we feared. A lot of fans thought they wanted the players to have more, leeway, more pull, more say so, because they make these guys so much money. Now, how do you feel about it? They've got too much power now. It's become an
Yeah.
NBA player league, and you know that's what it is. When you have people like James Harden, Kevin Durant just saying, "Nah, I ain't feeling him. Get rid of him." But then his ass wants to leave the very next year. Like, man, you just effed up everything we were trying to do here.
Right.
Like, they've been Aaron Rodgers in the NBA before Aaron Rodgers really became who Aaron Rodgers is now in the NFL. Just kind of destroying, locker rooms and franchises. These players have been doing it because they got too much power. So yeah,
They
but
have. They
yeah,
have. They have all the power.
all the power now in the NBA, and
Fully. Hey, they got it. I'm glad the players get their money, but
yeah,
these contracts have to stop being fully guaranteed
yeah,
because it's put everybody in a bad situation.
something's got to change. Definitely,
Yep.
something's got. Okay, so anyway, let's hurry up and go ahead and get to Raw. Monday Night Raw started off with Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley. That's the only thing I want to talk about is them, maybe a little bit of Jey Uso and Gunther, and let's get straight to Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins because that's probably the most interesting factors of Monday Night Raw from last night, April 7th, 2025. Terrence, what do you think about Bianca and Io and Rhea? Rhea Ripley over as can get. We
Yeah.
thought that Bianca Belair hearing boos was coming from her being
Yeah.
out of the states. She's getting
Right.
booed in Minneapolis, Minnesota too now, back in our country. So what's going on? Is it because she's still in black? Is it because they still believe she had something to do with the Jade attack and with Naomi? Why are they booing Bianca, or are they just that sick of her? And what I told you was getting kind of stale, and she needs to go heel. You don't think they're gonna do it? The fans want something to change. Why are they booing Bianca? And what do you make of this whole segment and their triple threat that's now official?
I think it's a combination. And just a preface, I gotta take it there. Unfortunately, I think it's a combination of it is kind of a tired act for some people, right? Like she has been Bianca Belair for so long. She's been the EST for so long. She's essentially been a babyface since she debuted in WWE, not NXT, but since she debuted on the main roster. I think it's also a combination of the way they booked her versus Rhea. They didn't book them as two unbeatable objects going head to head. They didn't book it as Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. They booked it as Bianca costing Rhea a match. and they booked it as Bianca not wanting Rhea in the triple threat. Um, so I also think it's the booking is part of it. Part of it is also is the white equal versus the black equal, and the fans are going to side with the white equal. That's and that might be the biggest factor in all three.
And as much as I hate to agree with you, that is. Um, that very well could be the reason, and I can't see anything else. Like, what is she doing that has you wanting to boo? Rhea Ripley is the one who I kind of want to boo because, damn, like I don't mean any
She's been the
harm.
asshole in all of this.
She's
She's been a complete asshole.
she really has. She really
Yeah,
has, and blaming everybody else for her miscues or her not getting the job done. And so again, I told you this a month ago, and I'm standing on it. They knew they should have did Bianca versus Rhea Ripley, but they won't do it because they're not gonna let Rhea Ripley lose to her. She's not taking the
right,
pin. That's why I believe that Bianca is really gonna win this thing because they're making it a triple threat. However, this may be an unfortunate situation for Bianca Belair because it's starting to look like Io Sky has to win now. They're belittling her too much. She's nothing. She's the third wheel in this whole thing. Is she
right,
that just because of what we're saying? Because Bianca has to win, and they're not going to let her pin Rhea Ripley, or is it now turning into more of we're making her look like the third wheel? She has to win now. I'm
right.
almost thinking that Io Sky is going to win this thing now. I thought Bianca would win it. That was the reason why she won the chamber. But they don't want her to beat Rhea one on one, which is bullshit. And we just said
Right.
that we know that. Even though I like what they're doing here, kind of. Explain again why you're saying Rhea Ripley has been the jerk the whole time here. Could you please just break that down briefly?
Yeah. Well, even when in the initial match with Io, she was very arrogant. I've been laughing at her and see ya mania Bianca.
Yep, yep.
When she was gonna do the pump handle slam off the top rope. So she's been an asshole out of all of this, very arrogant, and it's almost like that feud with Liv kind of made her careless to an extent. Um, took off the edge, if you will. But yeah, so she's been booked to be the asshole out of all of this, but that's not translating well with the crowd apparently.
No, it's not. And this is where it gets real complicated. You listen to the fans, you don't listen to the fans. The whole thing is you have to know when to and when not to do it. And I think that they kind of
Yeah,
get that wrong at times. Like with the whole Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton thing, they messed that up. They thought that Charlotte should have came in babyface, and then they booed her, and they were like, "Oh wow, okay, well let's make Charlotte heel. That's easy to do. She's a good heel. Yeah, she is, but there's still one problem with that. Tiffany Stratton is not really a good babyface. I liked
she's
her
not.
much more when she was this bratty, arrogant little bitch, who was kind of Nia Jax's sidekick. And she's pretty and she's better than you. And she's just on her way to the top. The hell with what you think
Yeah,
of. She's better that way. But they're trying to push or force down her throat her as the baby face now. And well, up until last week, she was getting her ass handed to her on the mic by
right.
Charlotte. So they just don't listen enough. And sometimes when they do listen, they shouldn't. They should have never put Flair and Charlotte. I mean Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton together in that main event in that WrestleMania match. I'll agree, but still, and they shouldn't have added Io Sky to this Bianca Rhea Ripley feud because that's what this is supposed to be. Uh, so yeah, I don't like that at all, and I hate that they're doing that. I've lost Terrence for us for a minute here. I hope we can get him back here. But long story short, yeah, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, triple threat match, WrestleMania 41. It's official. We knew it was gonna be that way. We just don't quite like how they did it. Um, so we've lost Terrence. Yeah, okay. So we've lost Terrence, and that's fine. We're gonna keep it going. Io Sky and that match with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley is official now. So It's going to be a good match, no doubt about it. I think it's time for Bianca to go heel. I do. But in this situation, I didn't understand why she's still getting booed. What are they not liking about Bianca? What did she do? Other than what she was asked to do. She was the special enforcer or special guest referee. And she did to the best of her abilities. She put on the uniform and she refereed that match. Rhea Ripley shouldn't be blaming Bianca. She was physically touched a few times and she said enough of this shit. Before that, she signed a contract and Rhea came out there and signed her name on the contract too. Like, hey, bitch, what are you doing? This is our match. So Bianca's just like, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm so over it now. I'm glad you win the match, Rhea, because I'm gonna beat that ass, tap that ass too, and I'm gonna be the champion. Is that kind of heel to say? Yeah, a little bit. And I hope they go full blown with it and let her go heel. Not just because she's getting the booze because it's time, but they're not showing you that she's a heel, really, except for her being dressed in black. I'm just wondering why they're booing her. It can't be because she, like let go of Naomi and she's not friends with her anymore. Naomi did a horrible thing to Jade Cargill. She pushed her off of something and she landed on a car and was out for like 4 months. So that can't be the reason why they're booing Bianca. I don't know. Don't get it. But long story short, that match is official for WrestleMania 41. Also, Seth Rollins. I mean, not Seth Rollins. Let's go with Jey Uso and Gunther real quick. So Jey Uso and Gunther has been kind of boring, and the build has been like, wake me up when this is over. But now, not so much. They got it a little more personal, and they're making us feel some sympathy for Jey Uso. You see how easy that is when you do it right. Gunther beat the hell out of Jimmy Uso last week. He's put him on a shelf, left him in a bloody mess, choked him out. This is payback. Jey Uso is pissed now. And he calmly, cool, and collectively came out last night and told Gunther to his face that he was asking God for forgiveness already for the man that he's about to become for his match with Gunther at WrestleMania. And you had to feel that because I know I'd go to war for my brother, for my big brother, my little brother. Well, I only got one brother, but still, we would all go to war for our brother. And if you've done something like this to our brother, oh man, it's gonna be hell to pay if you're telling me we are gonna get to meet up in the square circle, and that's what's gonna happen. So now we feel for that match a little bit more, and we want Jey Uso to win. That's a great way to get people off his ass and stop being so pissed that he won the Rumble and that he's gonna be at WrestleMania. He's not gonna main event it. They're going to get it over with, and we're ready for it to be over with. Don't get me wrong. We're tired of the yeeting and all of that. We understand, but it's his moment, and they're giving it to him. And we're not going to say he hadn't worked hard for it and that he doesn't deserve it. He's making them a lot of money, and that's what they do when you can make and pull in, pull in the money that they're pulling in, and sell the merchandise that they're selling, like Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, who was really CM Punk. These guys are selling a lot of merchandise, especially Cody Rhodes and Bianca Belair. That's why they don't want them going heel, but I still think Bianca probably is going to go heel. So again, good promo, good emotional moment for Jey Uso, and it's making the fans buy in again to say, yeah, we do want you to whoop Gunther's ass because he was wrong for that. So it's good. And if you still hate Jey Uso, it is what it is. He's gonna have his moment and he's gonna win the match. But I thought that was interesting. Finally, something intriguing with that. And we've only got one more Raw before WrestleMania, and that's next week. I forgot where they said they're gonna be in next week, but one more Raw, and Roman Reigns will be there. But again, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. That match is official. Women's World Championship. Who's gonna win it? Is Io Sky gonna retain that title? She's been the third wheel in this whole thing. Rhea and Bianca are making this about them two. They've got a hatred and a feud toward each other one now, a very competitive feud. And Io Sky is just like in the way. That's how those two women are looking at it. And that's why I think Io Sky, I'm starting to think now, Io Sky is going to win because nobody gives her a chance. She's the third wheel. This is about Rhea and Bianca. They really should have made it about Rhea and Bianca by having it a 1v1. But I know why. They didn't want Bianca to pin Rhea Ripley, which is why I said Bianca's winning. Not so sure about that now, though. They're listening to the fans, and they may give the fans what they want, and they want Io Sky to kind of win now. And they would love for Rhea to win. But they don't like Bianca, which is more reason why I hope she's healed. I hope that's why she's still wearing black every week now. And I think that she will. I hope that she is still behind the whole Naomi Jade Cargill attack. And it's all revealed at WrestleMania. She may even help Naomi beat Jade at WrestleMania. We'll see. If Bianca's going to win the championship, I think both of them should win and be a great heel faction. Maybe even have Nia Jax join them. I don't know. They should be like the women bloodline. They should do something like that. But hey, what do I know? Let's go ahead and fast forward to the end now. Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. At the end of the night, we had Paul Heyman come out, and Paul Heyman discussed about the situation that's going on right now in this triple threat match between CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. And they've been going at it, the three of them. And they've built it up pretty good. It's okay the way they've done it, but we thought it was all around CM Punk's favor. That favor was finally revealed last week. On SmackDown, CM Punk said that he wants Paul Heyman in his corner, like he promised years ago whenever he main evented WrestleMania. See, CM Punk is always telling a good story. That's why he's one of the best, if not the best, at this when a microphone is in his hand. He knows how to tell good stories. He knows how to, mix or work in with a little bit of shoot. Very, very good at it. So he's just trying to, he's just trying to keep that promise going. And that's a promise that Paul Heyman made to him. And he just wants Paul Heyman to keep that promise. And Paul Heyman is going to do so because that's his best friend. But Paul Heyman comes out at the end of Monday Night Raw and he says that I would never be disloyal. I'm very loyal to Roman Reigns, my tribal chief, and CM Punk, my best friend. But I would never, because I'm very loyal to them both, I would never be disloyal to either of them. So then that's when he's about to say something, and he's interrupted by Seth Rollins' music. Seth Rollins comes to the ring, and Seth Rollins, man, he talked. He talked for a minute, explaining to Paul Heyman why you shouldn't be loyal to either one of them, which I thought was pretty good because I didn't really hear a lot of cap. I didn't really hear a lot of lies that were told when he explained to Paul Heyman why he should not be in either one of those guys' corner, Roman Reigns or CM Punk. He talks about how CM Punk is just using him. He's selfish. He used you just for that favor. And now he's got what he has what he wants. And that's for you to be in his corner. And he's only doing that to take away Roman Reigns' advantage, to take away something that Roman Reigns has had for the past 4 years, 5 years. He's taking it all away. This is to benefit CM Punk, says Seth Rollins. What are you doing? That man doesn't care about you. And Roman Reigns, oh man, who will be on Raw next week. He also goes as far as to say that Roman Reigns don't care about you either. I mean, come on, man. He left you hanging after he lost his title at WrestleMania, thanks to moi, as he definitely helped Cody Rhodes and they finished that whole Avengers story. And so Seth Rollins is just going on and on telling Paul Heyman how Roman Reigns left him for dead after WrestleMania. He went away for like 4 months. And the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline 2.0 had took effect. They went into effect and they took it out on him. After a while, they put Paul Heyman through a table. Roman Reigns was still gone. Paul Heyman was off TV for a while, and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman returned. That's why probably when Roman Reigns tried to call Paul Heyman, that number was not working. Anybody remember that? Maybe some of this stuff is long term storytelling, maybe, but some of the stuff just didn't quite make sense. As them actually, you know, uh, having this plan long term. And I've got Terrence back in the building. We had lost him for a minute. He's back. I've already fast forwarded to the end, Terrence. And I'm talking about Seth Rollins and the things that he said
Yep.
to Paul Heyman
To Paul
as to
Heyman. Yeah.
why he shouldn't be so loyal to either one. CM Punk is selfish and he's just using you to get what he wants. While at the same time he's hurting Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns left you for dead after he lost his title. He was gone
Right.
for 4 months while you got slammed through tables from Solo in the Bloodline 2.0. A lot of good, valid points that Seth Rollins made, and I didn't hear any lies detected.
Right. You know
So,
what?
Terrence, as we fast forward on, the crowd is chanting
Hmm.
CM Punk's name, and Seth Rollins is trying to get through to Paul Heyman. We don't know if that worked or not yet, but he
Yeah.
interrupted Paul Heyman when he was about to tell us whatever the hell he's going to do at WrestleMania. Because
Yep.
Paul Heyman said that he would be loyal to the both of them, Reigns and Punk, and he would never be disloyal to either one. So what is he going to do then? How can you satisfy both? We didn't get to find out. Seth came out, said what he said, and it ended up getting physical because it looked like what was Seth Rollins about to put his hands on him? Did he put his hands on Paul Heyman?
Yeah.
Yeah, he started to put his hands on him.
Yep.
Paul Heyman was getting very frustrated, and you were starting to feel sorry for Paul Heyman. Like, all right, Punk, where you at, buddy? When you coming out? He's about to put this man face in the mat, and
Like
then he
anytime
shows
now.
up.
Right.
And he showed up and he started throwing them hands, and here they go. No promo, no words from CM Punk. He had to come out there and protect his best friend Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
And as that's going on, CM Punk gets laid out with a curve stunt, and Paul Heyman, laying there to check on CM Punk, is about to catch one too, a curve stomp. I'm like, dang, they're about to write Paul Heyman on TV? No, they can't do that. He doesn't do it. Paul Heyman, he gets out of the way, he moves or something. Paul Heyman still could have done it. He doesn't do it, and he tells Paul Heyman, now you owe me a favor. Terrence, I said all of that to ask you this. What the hell is going on? What are they doing now? What is this about?
So this is a match where I don't really know who's going to win. Right. If I had to put money on it, I would bet Seth. Uh, I would love to see Punk get the win. I think Punk is really the most over baby face in the company right now. But it's also a situation where I have to look towards the future. And I'm going to say, what are they going to do? Let's say, for example, if John Cena is the victor, not John Cena, but if Cody Rhodes actually beats John Cena, then what's next? And I think it's a situation where you're going to see Paul Heyman actually do another turn, like a full heel turn back with Roman Reigns, because as you stated before we started recording, Roman never changed. He's still the tribal chief. He's still the head of the table. He ain't the big dog. He is not a babyface. The fans can cheer for him all the hell they want to. That man is still playing the role of the head of the table. And
I
while
agree.
he might not have a bloodline with him right now, he doesn't care about that. What he cares about is beating the hell out of Seth, beating the hell out of CM Punk, getting back to his championship. So I'm thinking like you don't really want a babyface Cody and a babyface Roman post WrestleMania. Well, somebody's got to be healed, and clearly as hell it's not going to be Cody. So in my I don't even want to call it a bold prediction, but my thing is I think Paul Heyman's going to screw Punk, and people are going to think he's going to screw Roman for Seth Rollins, but he's going to actually screw Seth Rollins again, and Roman will be healed again come post WrestleMania.
That would
It
be
was
great.
too Jarvis. It was.
That would
I
be
mean, when
great.
you look at it, it was too lucrative for the company. And I'm sure Netflix has been in the ear saying, "Hey, we need some of this shit y'all were cooking when we signed y'all. Don't wait till we sign y'all and change this shit.
Hmm.
We need that good pot roast y'all were cooking, man. Don't wait till we sign y'all and then want to feed us microwavable steak patties. Damn, that's two food analogies today. I must really be hungry.
You must really be hungry.
I'm tripping, but that's what I think will happen because some of us have been stating the obvious. It looks like Paul Heyman is going to help Seth. We knew he was going to come out with CM Punk. So why not show signs of the obvious just to take our minds away? The least thing that we're thinking right now is, oh, he's going to screw both of these guys and help Roman, and that's what Triple H does.
But what would the favor be from Seth?
I think Seth is just talking just to get us stirred up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. But look, I like your analogy. I like the way it's gonna end. Roman Reigns has not told anyone that he is babyface. He has not said I changed. He said I haven't changed. Everything's still the
right.
same. This is my
Yeah,
yard. This is my company. And your tribal chief is back to take care of some family business first. But after the family business, he says he wants the championship back. I can very well see him doing exactly what you just said. Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman making us all think that in this swerve, it could possibly be him siding with Seth Rollins and he screws Punk and Reigns. But he very well could just screw Punk, come out
yeah,
in his corner, and then screw him, and somehow Reigns gets the win. The only thing I just don't understand about it is if Reigns does win, it's not like they're saying you're going to be the number one contender if you win this match, or there's nothing for stakes at it. It's just a bunch of three guys who are somewhat taking some stuff personal, and they don't
yeah,
really have a lot personal going on. They're just kind of nitpicking about this, and that. Oh, well, I didn't win the Rumble because of him, and I didn't win the Chamber because of him, and that's all they're
yeah,
doing here. But I will say this: Reigns does need to be champion again,
yeah.
and if they do it, they didn't have to do it this way though. My only thing was, how do you be a champion for 4 years nearly, and you can't get your damn rematch? It should have just
And
been
that's
just
and
like that.
that's what Roman will use. That's what he'll use. You want to talk about favors? I read. Something along those lines. That's my Roman impression for today.
But Terrence, I hope you're right with what you're saying. But damn, Roman said some hurtful things kind of to Paul Heyman. Well, to CM Punk about Paul Heyman. He said he needs me. I saved him. I brought him back to
Yeah,
relevancy.
yeah.
Let him down easy, will you? Let him down easy. Like Paul Heyman is looking like, don't overdo it now,
Hey, and,
Tribal
and let me
Chief.
tell you, kudos to Paul Heyman, man. Nobody plays a role like Paul Heyman.
Oh man, he doesn't even have to
That dude.
talk
I was watching with
sometimes.
my dad. I was like, look at him. I said, watch him cry. Watch him cry.
His whole facial expression and his body language, man, he doesn't even have to talk at times. Sometimes his eyes, his body, his face, it says it all. It's enough.
Yeah.
So
Looked like he was secretly holding some onions in his hands or something.
yeah, yeah. Paul Heyman is he's a genius. He's great. We love him. He's a Hall of Famer. All of that stuff. Uh, and we like how they have him in the middle of this triangle or whatever you want to call it here between Punk and Reigns, and then Seth Rollins. Just last week, he enjoyed it. He had fun and laughed at everything. Like, oh, what are you going to do about that, Roman? Punk wants him in his corner, and ha 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 ha. I loved it. But this week, he came more serious. He explained some facts to Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Didn't We don't know if that really got through Paul Heyman or not. Maybe that be the reason why he will screw CM Punk and still side with Roman Reigns. Terrence, everything that Seth Rollins just told Paul Heyman. Little does he know, though, he could get the short end of the stick in that if they're not working together. like I
Right.
predicted they could be doing. I don't know. We'll see. But Seth Rollins started getting his ass whooped for a minute for the things that he said and the things that he was about to do to Paul Heyman. And but at the end, again, Rollins
And
got the
I gotta
last
say this
laugh,
too,
got the
man.
curb stomp.
I hope this is the last like fake fight between Rollins and Punk because they are terrible at it. Like I love those guys. They're both so good in the ring, so good at what they do. But fake fighting and having those pull aparts is not what they're good at.
I agree. It's not. It's not. And they've had too many of those with too many stars, superstars, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree, they're not. Um, but yeah, CM Punk face down on the mat is how Monday Night Raw ended, and Seth Rollins gave him that curve stomp, left him face down on the mat, and he was about to do the same, or at least he wanted Paul Heyman to think that he was going to do it, and he just paused, and he didn't do it, and it says, "Now you owe me a favor." Terrence says that he's just bullshitting, he's just blowing smoke. We're going to find out Friday night or next Monday. Roman Reigns will be on Monday Night Raw next week, surprisingly. That's the go home show for WrestleMania. And then we'll see what's going on this Friday. The WrestleMania card is pretty much set now, though, Terrence. And I'll quickly let you go. But I just want to give you a quick rundown of the card that we have. I think for now, I think this is pretty much it. We have Rey Mysterio, who is going to be in a match now with El Grande Americano, or Chad Gable, WrestleMania. We also have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I think that is night one, but I'm not for sure. We have Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Right now, I don't know what day that is. Looks like that's Saturday. Looks like the Saturday card is Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americana. Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Uh, Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. Jay Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and CM Punk to main event night one. Night two, we've got AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. The Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker versus Penta
Mm,
versus Finn Balor versus Dom Mysterio in a fatal four way, as you called it. You said
called
it,
it.
T. You called it. And you nailed that one, boy, from Steph Curry range. That is the fatal four way. That's the fatal four way for night two. Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. And I think these matches are probably going to go exactly in order as I'm saying it. I could be wrong. Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. That one is for the Women's World Championship. So they're going to have two. They're going to have both of the Women's Championship matches on night two. It looks like it. And then Cody versus John Cena. Cody versus John Cena. Um, so that's it. And Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, the main event. Any of these matches, do you think it's going to be a good show? We know it won't be WrestleMania 40 or 39, but do you think this is going to be a good show? And which one stands out to you the most?
Did we call Drew McIntyre's name?
Who was that? No, we did
Drew.
not. We did not. Are they waiting to maybe they're waiting till Friday to make that official, or is the
Probably so.
injury more severe than we thought? Because they say he got glass in his eye, and then some other people said that it wasn't glass. Is well,
I think
no,
they're gonna
no,
win.
no.
There's
He
no way
had
in
a
hell
no.
Drew is.
I'm sorry. He had a promo with the patch on Friday night
Yeah, yeah,
again.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. There's no way in hell Drew is not gonna be on the card. um, I think this is going to have better in-ring action than last year, top to bottom. I've said that before. You look at even some of the lower card matches, which is Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable, El Grande Americano. Um, that's a banger. AJ Styles and Logan Paul, that's a banger. Like
but a
they
horrible bill. But a horrible bill.
terrible bill, terrible bill. It's pointless. This is an AEW style. There's no story behind this. It's just get two guys in the ring and let them do it. So I think top to bottom, this is going to be better from the beginning of night one to the end of night two. But I'm just not excited about it. Like I'm really looking forward to the four-way match with Finn Balor in them because I think Dominic is going to have a damn good moment in that match. Um, I'm looking forward to the Cody Rhodes and John Cena match. I know it's going to be a shit show. This person comes out, that person comes out. I know it's going to be a lot of that. I'm looking forward to the triple threat match. What happens with Paul Heyman? Um, I'm even looking forward to Bianca and Rhea and Io. Because at some point we're going to get a big Bianca and Rhea moment. It should have just been them one on one. Whatever, we get it. Uh, if it's any match I'm looking forward to the most, is I'm going to cop out and say the Cody Rhodes and John Cena match because so much rides on that match. I think everything is going to happen afterwards. The heel turn, is it just going to be a moment and a pointless heel turn, or is John Cena going to have a run as a champion? So that's what I'm looking forward to the most, more so for the ramifications, not because of the action. Because let's be honest, John Cena's a good wrestler. He's never been a great wrestler, so you're not really looking forward to his technician.
Right.
You're not really looking forward to the moves he pull off. You're looking for what the emotions he gives out, the story he tells. I think with Cody, there's going to be a good story in there somewhere. I'm sure we'll get the final boss. I'm sure. But here's a scenario I want to throw out.
Please
What if
do.
we have this? What if we have this Smars that we had last year with all these guys coming out and the glass breaks and the
It'd probably
Texas
be good.
rattlesnake? He's walking and talking down the ramp and he puts a thunder on Cody Rhodes
Oh, didn't think you were gonna go there with it.
and John Cena
Hmm.
pins him.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Now that is a way to end WrestleMania
Because
41.
Stone Cold is Hollywood.
Is he?
Yeah, Stone Cold's been in a lot of movies.
Well, yeah, but he's
He's
not
been in
The
a lot of
Rock or
movies.
Cena. Not even
Right,
close.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not even close. Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. He's probably been in more movies than Cena. Just not big movies, not big roles.
Well, Cena has said, I don't want to. Damn, I don't know what this. I don't know. Was it an interview or was it just somebody just running up asking some questions? He did say that there were going to be a few more surprises between now and Mania. That would be a surprise because a lot of people would think if they see Stone Cold, oh shit, Cody's gonna win again. And
Yep.
you're right. That could be the swerve right there. He actually stuns Cody, and he's the reason why he loses. And Cody can't get his lick back because Stone Cold ain't. He won't be there. He won't be there
Well, it could
the
set
Raw
up for
after
something
Mania.
with Cody, and it could do is it could give Cody a reason to not fight for the title at next year's Mania or
Mm-hmm.
SummerSlam. You know,
Right.
he needs a beltless feud for a minute. Now, at some point, you're gonna make a mistake at putting him in there with all of these old guys because people are not gonna not cheer for The Rock. They're not gonna not cheer for Cena to a certain degree. They're definitely gonna not cheer for Stone Cold. So at some point, if that happens, if it's hypothetical,
Yeah.
you're gonna make a mistake putting him in there with all these old guys.
Man, it's gonna be interesting, man. I don't know, but the one thing about it, even though I'm not crazy about the build to WrestleMania this year, it's still gonna be a good card. It's still gonna be
Yep,
some great matches, no doubt
yep,
about it. It's star studded. I just don't like
yep.
how they did it because they wanted to be so star studded. Stories could have been better. 097, he came back. He's still in here. Thank you for being with us, man, for sticking with us. He said most of the stories won't be there, but I'm curious about in ring performance. I worry about the stories more than I do the in-ring performance. But you're right, most of them won't be there. But I don't. I'm not worried about the performance. I think it'll be good matches. Do we see a few more botches and things now? Yes, because Triple H is a lot easier to work with or for than
And I did hear
Mr.
that
Man
earlier. I don't know if
was.
you heard. I didn't mean to cut you off
You
before we
good?
get out of here. Uh, I heard that Aleister Black is now going to replace Kevin Owens.
Is that official? Oh, you heard that
Not
that's gonna
official. Not
happen.
official. No, it's not official. It's just online rumor.
Okay. Wow. That's huge. We knew he was coming. Him and Miro, we've heard, or Rusev is coming back to WWE, but we didn't know when.
Yep.
Ray Phoenix has already made his debut. So Aleister Black, I guess I'm not a fan, but we'll see what they can do with him now. They say he was good under Triple H's wing in NXT back then. We'll see. But I thought Randy Orton was going to really miss WrestleMania. And T, that means some of these matches are not official. I named some matches that aren't official. They have not said they have not said Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight at WrestleMania. They haven't confirmed that. That's just a card that I'm looking at. That might not be true. Um, and if Randy Orton is going to have a match with someone else, then yeah, I've got 5 matches each night, and that's usually where Triple A likes to cut it off, 4 or 5 matches. So
Five
that means
matches. Yeah.
some of this stuff is not official. Some of this stuff isn't official, even though Ray Phoenix is with El Americano. That's actually official. So, but no, it's not really official for Fatu and LA Knight. I don't think that's the only thing that I can see that Randy Orton match going in though. But whatever. This is it. WrestleMania 41. The build has been okay, but what does The Rock play in on this? Will he not show up until WrestleMania? Will we see him Friday? Will we see him next Monday on Raw? Roman will be there. Those
Yep.
are the questions that remain to be unanswered. We don't know. There was a report that I was trying to check out about The Rock, but we went ahead and started this live stream because of the time and
Right.
restrictions that you got going on right now. But I'm gonna check into that and maybe we'll talk about that a little later.
Sure.
But I think The Rock, the word is they're keeping The Rock's WrestleMania status top secret, top shelf secret. So what could they be planning on while they're not, telling us he's gonna be there? I don't know,
Mm.
but we'll find out. Terrence, that's all I have though, man. I know you got a roll. Thank you for being in here with us. You got anything else to add before you get out of here?
Hey, that's it. That's it for right now. But when we come back, I want to get your WrestleMania dream match. So you think about that for a couple days, like
You
all
mean
time,
present?
dead,
You mean
dead
present?
or alive,
Oh,
dead or
dead or
alive.
alive?
You got to book your top 3 WrestleMania matches.
Okay. That sounds interesting. That's fun. I like that. We got to do that. We got to do that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Terrence came up with a good one there. Top 3 matches for WrestleMania dream matches. Yeah, I sure will. I just wonder how much it will be today, currently, or the past, or can we mix past with present? I don't know. That would probably be
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. I'm gonna wrap it up right now. But when you said Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, that's what Bianca and Rhea Ripley should have been, though. Don't know why they didn't feel the need to do. Well,
Yep.
I know why. I said it millions of times. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Which
Correct.
is why we probably shouldn't be watching. Just like fans shouldn't be going um, to these. Well, we were talking about basketball on that, but WWE fans should do the same thing. Stop going to some of this stuff if you're not happy with what they're doing. We're out for right now. What are the Denver Nuggets going to do about a head coach? They got an interim head coach for right now. Can't wait to see how they're going to do in the playoffs and the Grizzlies too. It'll be interesting. We're out. Y'all have a good one. Until we eat again, y'all be safe out there. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.